It is vitally important for the sake of everyone involved, especially the Wallace family, that the investigation be allowed to proceed and that our public comments not get ahead of that investigation. So long as it does not conflict with the needs of both the Internal Affairs Division and the District Attorney's Office to carry out their work. That includes the question of release of the 911 calls and body-worn camera video of the death of Walter Wallace Jr. I want to announce that the Wallace family, the District Attorney, the Police Commissioner, and I have all agreed that releasing the body camera footage and 9/11 audio on Wednesday, November 4th, by the close of business, is in the best interest of our city and its residents. As you know, Philadelphians are experiencing an immense amount of pain. A significant unrest persists throughout the entire city. The collective hope of our local government and the Wallace family is that releasing the recordings on November 4th will provide enough time to calm tensions and for the recordings to be released in the most constructive manner possible. We appreciate the patience of those of you in the media, and we appreciate the patience of the Wallace family and all Philadelphians. Thank you. And now Mike will open the floor for questions.
That's right. And again, we have limited time. The individuals speaking today have only until about 2:30. So we're going to limit this again to one representative from each outlet and one question and one follow-up per reporter. With that, let's start off with Jeff Cole of Fox 29.
Yes, hello, folks. I'm not sure. Is Commissioner Outlaw on the line as well?
Yes, she is.
Okay. First, though, to Mayor Kenny. Mayor Kenny, why release the videotape, the body cam tape on Wednesday? Are you trying to avoid the election on Tuesday? Why not release it on Monday? Why is Wednesday a day to calm tensions?
No, we've been tense way before Tuesday. It's been tensions all week long. And this is something that was agreed. It was supported by the Wallace family and by the district attorney. The district attorney actually has the power to order the release, and we've all agreed that it might be best to wait until the 4th. Marcel, could you please?
Yeah, we actually can't comment further on the release in order to respect the agreement and the wishes of everyone involved. So we just have to defer to the text of the statement, which everyone should have.
I'm sorry. Attorney Johnson indicated yesterday when he had his 4:00 press conference that his understanding was that the tape would come out Friday. That there was this understanding then that it would come out. Why wait till Wednesday?
Jeff, all I can say is that we have to defer to the statement that all of the stakeholders agreed to, and you should have the text of it.
Is the district attorney opposed to its release?
You should read the text of the statement that went out. The district attorney is a party to it.
All right. Thank you, Jeff. Let's go to Martin Pratt of Philly YBN.
Yes, I would like to ask Commissioner Outlaw, what is the status of the internal affairs investigation to the, lack of a better word, group of thug police that attacked a mother, a 2-year-old, and her nephew?
So we opened an investigation once it, I don't remember the day it was, but I was asked about whether or not I had seen that video. And as soon as it was brought to my attention, an internal affairs investigation had been initiated. Since that time, we've identified the officer responsible, or the one that we see using the strikes against the car. And that officer has since been placed on restricted duty pending the outcome of the investigation.
Is there going to be a date that the Internal Affairs expects to have a report? And has the 2-year-old's hearing aids been returned to him?
I can't answer the latter question. I don't know the answer to that. And I do not have a timeline on the investigation. But I will say, with this case and any other allegations that have since arisen, we take all of this seriously. And I hope that these investigations, and my expectation is that these investigations are done in a fair and timely manner.
Is her vehicle returned?
Martin, I think she had already alluded to the fact that this is still under investigation. We're going to move on now to Alicia Reed of CBS 3.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Mayor, we spoke with the family's lawyer earlier today. And from what we understand, the family was under the impression that the tape would have been released to the public yesterday. And they're concerned that waiting to release it next week will be way too close to the family's, to his funeral, and would cause even more tension when they really just want to focus on getting the funeral underway.
My understanding that has changed, and Marcel Pratt was involved in the discussions with the family, the district attorney, and the family's lawyers.
Yes, hi, Alicia. So the mayor's office, shortly before this call, issued a joint statement on behalf of the mayor, the police commissioner, the Wallace family, and the district attorney. It was approved by all the parties, and that's the current position of everyone who's joined the statement. And that's all we can say at this time.
And so there's just no explanation as to why we're holding on to it as opposed to releasing it as was stated earlier.
I think the statement that was issued provides the explanation for why the timing is what it is.
All right, thank you, Alicia. We're going to go to Chris Palmer of the Inquirer.
Hi, thank you. This is for the commissioner. Commissioner, from what you've seen of the video or what you've learned early on in the scenario with the car in West Philadelphia, is there any situation or circumstance that you can think of that would justify the police response that was caught on that video?
You know, I still don't know all of the details, but I will tell you after reviewing the video, what I saw was quite concerning. But I'm very careful about what I say because I do not know all the circumstances around it. As far as what led up to it, what the officers experienced or what they will be saying in their internal affairs interview. But with that said, you know, I'd only be speculating right now, but I will say what I saw was rather concerning.
And this is a separate topic for Mayor Kenny. Why a curfew tonight, and do you anticipate one tomorrow or over the rest of the weekend?
We make determinations on curfews day by day. We don't do blanket multiple day curfews. We felt that with the tension, with tonight being mischief night, we wanted to try to get as many people indoors as possible right at 9 o'clock, after 9 o'clock, so we have less activity on the street and people can be safe. The purpose of a curfew is for people's safety. When we feel that it's necessary in certain instances to make them safe, we impose one. I can't tell you what's going to happen on Saturday, Sunday, and onward, but we take it a day at a time.
Chris, are you good?
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Let's go now to Kennedy Rose of the Philadelphia Business Journal.
Hi, my question's either for the mayor or the commissioner. I was wondering, now that the National Guard is here, I was wondering which business corridors they'll be stationed in and how long they plan to remain there.
I think that Commissioner Teal, as the Emergency Management Director, either has information or...
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, I'll take that, Kennedy. The National Guard is here now, deployed in locations across the city. That is going to be a flexible, also kind of day-by-day deployment solely to provide safety to our neighborhoods and neighborhood businesses. So the exact locations are always subject to change. We have high-ranking National Guard, Pennsylvania National Guard officials here with us in the EOC, linked up hand in hand with the police department to make sure that they are entirely focused on safety. Law enforcement is the police department's mission, and that they're working constantly to manage that deployment. So for probably obvious reasons, we can't get into specifics about where they are or are not deployed at any given time, simply because that can change from moment to moment.
Okay, thanks very much. That's all I had.
Great, thank you, Kennedy. Let's go to Annie McCormick of 6 ABC.
Hello. I have a two-part question. I can't ever remember body camera video being released by Philadelphia police, and I'm wondering if it ever has been released before in any incidents at all, whether regarding civilians or police. And then I have to follow up depending on what the answer is to that.
I don't recall either. I do think that in this particular case, transparency is extremely important. And that's the reason why it will be released when it will be released.
And my follow-up question is for the commissioner. Coming from your previous department in another city, did you ever have a situation where you found releasing body camera video in an investigation worked to help calm a situation like we're having right now?
It can. I mean, it can answer a lot of unanswered questions or get ahead of the narrative that's out there where there's misinformation involved. And then I've also seen it go completely the opposite of that. And I can think of one case in particular where after sharing, the body-worn camera footage, it actually left more questions than were initially existed. So, I think being open and transparent is important, but we have to understand that the outcome can go in any direction.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Annie. Let's go to Kristen Johansson of KYW.
Hi there. I'm not sure if this is for the mayor, the commissioner, the fire commissioner, but regarding the tweet last night from the Office of Emergency Management, can you just explain what happened there, why streets were closed, and why it happened without any warning?
So that was a decision that was made by police officials on the ground, and we obviously work closely to message. The reason we sent out that message is we wanted to make sure that people got warning as fast as possible after the decisions are made. This is changing minute by minute. We have people here 24/7, 365 who are constantly looking at information, evaluating threats and other things. So these are always probably going to happen on short notice, and we will continue to do our best hand in hand with all the partners who have equities in this. They're all in the EOC to try to get information out as fast as possible when those decisions are made. I would expect going forward through the weekend that we're going to have, this is going to be a very dynamic situation. Of course, we all hope that it's entirely peaceful and we don't have to do anything. So that's our principal hope. Since that might not happen, we would advise everybody to follow Ready Philadelphia, our social media channels, and kind of be ready to take action quickly if we have to do that again somewhere.
My second question is, there's just people in the neighborhoods we've been speaking to, and this is kind of for both the mayor and the commissioner, feel like there may be kind of a lack of leadership. We've also heard that from police. If you could speak directly, Mayor, to all the citizens in Philadelphia about the unrest and kind of the uncertainty, the outrage, what would you say to them?
These are perhaps the most unprecedented time in the city's history. There's multiple crises going on at any time. And I think we are certainly doing our best to address all of those things that happen, again, in a very quick pace sometimes. So we do understand, and we apologize for people's inconvenience when it comes to doing things that make them safe. And we will work our way through this, and we'll get through this weekend, the election, and move forward. And that's the best we're doing.
Yeah, and I echo the mayor's sentiments, but I would also ask too, I would want to know, and I want to know what more people want to see from us, whether it's internally here in the police department and then also from the community. Obviously, we know folks want to feel safe. Our officers also expect to feel safe. And, it depends. We got to make decisions on the fly. A lot of folks might not be pleased with the decisions that are being made. But I want to publicly acknowledge that I know our officers are out there grinding. We've canceled their days off. We've extended their shifts. Officers have been injured, and we're tired. We're all tired, and we keep pushing through. And to me, that's leadership. That's leadership at all levels. We don't always get the outcomes that we expect, but I'll use it last night as an example. Generally, folks will say, well, why did you do all these extra things when it was calm last night? Well, it was calm last night because we were out there taking preventative measures. So we are doing things, and we see that it works. We're asked often about lessons learned and whether or not we apply lessons learned. Every day there's something new, and we find that we have to adapt, and that's what we've been doing, which is why we're seeing these ebbs and flows. We've got a lot of explosives off the street. The officers out there did an amazing job, and now we're working with the ATF to further these investigations. But there's a lot of work being done that I think our officers don't get enough credit for. And quite frankly, our leadership here doesn't get the credit that they deserve, because we tend to focus on the negative. And we know that, again, we're a learning organization and we improve every time we notice. We're not perfect. But at the same time, there's a lot that's being done. And the fact that people still continue to show up and do the best that they possibly can, to me, that's true leadership. The fact that we're open, the fact that we're open to criticism, the fact that we're open to having difficult conversations and crucial dialogue is a sign of true leadership. And quite frankly, it's really easy to cast and throw stones when you're not sitting in these chairs having to make the decision. So, again, my heart goes out to everyone, whether it's community or even our folks that are working here, because I know folks are tired, but we'll get through this. And we're doing the absolute best that we can. And I have our utmost faith that we'll get it done.
Thank you, Kristen. Let's go to Michael Donofrio of the Philadelphia Tribune. Mike, you're up.
I guess this is for the mayor. Does the administration, yep, can you hear me?
Yep, go ahead.
Yes.
Does the administration plan on submitting any funding requests to City Council for additional money to pay for tasers for all officers? How much would that be, and when do you think you would do it?
Well, we're having that discussion internally. And Tumar, do you have anything?
I know there's some conversation. Good afternoon, everyone. I know there's some conversation going on with our Budget and Finance Office and City Council today. We don't have the details on that on particular spend, but I know tasers is on the list of items we're looking at for a mid-year transfer.
And any idea just how much would be needed to outfit all officers?
No, we don't have those exact numbers, Mike. We certainly have proposals from vendors, but we don't have those exact numbers yet.
All right, and maybe just lastly, I wasn't sure if you said in the beginning, but when does the city plan on identifying the officers involved?
I believe that's on Wednesday also, with the release of 911 and the body camera tapes.
Okay, thanks.
All right, thanks, Mike. Let's go now to Holly Otterbein of Politico.
Hi there. Thanks for doing this. This question is for Mayor Kenny. Some liberal and voting rights groups have raised concerns about the possibility of the National Guard being here on Election Day. You know, they're concerned it'll frighten voters. I'm wondering if you can respond to that.
Look, I mean, again, this is a historically unprecedented time in our city and country's history. We have needs to supplement police to get them away from guarding buildings and fixed assets so that they can be on patrol, keeping people safe and dealing with civil unrest. The state police will not be enforcing law. They'll be guarding property. They're not going to be near or intentionally not having them near polling places. But I think that people will feel safer if the community and the city is calm, as opposed to it not being calm. We're hoping that their presence at the level of calm and allows the police to go out and to fight crime and to arrest some of these people who are looting and are destroying property.
Thank you. That's all I had.
Thank you, Holly. Let's go to Layla Jones of Billy Penn.
Hello, sorry about that. I just wanted to ask the mayor, do you have any concerns that some people won't be able to cast their votes on November 3rd?
For what reason?
Just because maybe of the volume of people trying to. I know that the Secretary of State announced that the ballot boxes, the drop boxes, will be closed at 8 p.m. despite if there's a line. So just various reasons like that.
I mean, look, I mean, this is going to be a large turnout election. It's been a large turnout of mail-in ballots. If you are in line to vote in person by 8 o'clock, but by 8 o'clock or before, you'll be able to vote. We'll process people as best we can. And I'm confident with our election day workers and the city commissioners. They've done a terrific job on the mail-in ballots, that the in-person voting will go smoothly also. People should be patient waiting in line, make sure they socially distance and wear their masks, but I'm sure we'll get through it. It'll be an unprecedented election day, but we'll get through it.
Layla, are you good?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks.
Thank you. We have time for a very quick second round, limited to those who still have their hands raised. Let's go right back to Jeff Cole. Jeff, you're up. I'm sorry. Let's try this one more time. Jeff, try there. There you go.
Here we go. This is a question for Commissioner Outlaw. Commissioner Outlaw, you were a young police officer on the streets of Oakland, California. I think that's where you started your career. If a man had approached you with a knife and you did not have a taser, wouldn't you have shot that man?
That would be highly speculative. And, I want to be clear. We're placing a lot of trust in a taser. There are other alternatives. I think that we could be discussing less lethal alternatives. So I just want to be clear in that we're talking solely about a taser because I think that's the less lethal munition that we're all familiar with. But it's hindsight. Again, the circumstances are very different.
I didn't ask you about the taser, Commissioner. I'm sorry. I asked you whether you would have shot a man if you didn't have a taser, if he approached you with a knife when you were a young cop.
Yeah, you asked me if I didn't have a taser, and I'm saying tasers have different outcomes for many different scenarios. So,
but that's the scenario here. These men didn't have tasers.
Yes, they didn't have tasers, but you're asking me to make a speculative decision. I don't know. You never know. These decisions that decision then would be based off of what I felt, what I perceived at the time I made the decision to use force.
Commissioner, I know you have not released the tape, but we've had a description.
Jeff, we have 5 minutes left. We have 5 reports.
Fine.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Let's go to Daryl Murphy of WHYY.
Yes, I just had a question about exactly how many members of the National Guard are in the city.
Mr. Teal, do you know, or can you talk? Can you say?
I think right now it is substantially less than what we had here during the first couple weeks of June, and we are hoping that things will be peaceful and we can keep it that way at a relatively a smaller number than that, and we can have them headed back to their homes as soon as possible because we have peace in the streets.
Can you put a number on that?
I'm not going to put a number on that just for operational reasons.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Daryl. Let's go quickly to Martin Pratt of Philly YBN.
Yes, the police commissioner asked what would the community have her do or have the department do. Commissioner, one of the things that's bubbling up right now on social media, and anytime anybody talks to me, they're talking about the story about the mom and her 2-year-old and the fact that her vehicle hasn't been returned to her. I think that some show by the department that acknowledges that there's a mother with a child without a car might be one of the first steps.
Thank you.
Okay, Chris Palmer of the Inquirer, you're up.
Hi, Mayor Kenny. Walter Wallace's father said yesterday that he hadn't spoken to you. I'm wondering, have you met with the family personally? If so, when and what did you discuss with them?
First of all, let me say that the Wallace family is grieving severely. They're brokenhearted. They lost their son at 27 years of age. What Mr. Wallace Sr. said yesterday at the press conference is understandable because he's that upset. I take no offense to it. I understand that grief. I don't understand that grief. I understand that he is grieving, and what he said is not important to me as far as being insulted or anything. Secondly, I did call the Wallace family, I believe, the day of, or the night of. I don't remember. I think it was the night of on Monday.
Yes, the evening.
The service on. I spoke to his wife, his mother and father, and whoever else. I guess I don't know who other members of the family were in the room when I was on speaker with them at their home, and then went to the meeting / prayer service at the church. A couple of days later, I had an opportunity to talk to them in person, and then spoke to them from my heart, from the pulpit, about their son and their loss, and how we would do everything we can to make sure that justice was done.
All right. Thank you, Chris. Let's go.
Can I have a quick follow-up to that? I guess if you say you want to see justice done, what does that mean to you in this case?
When the investigation is concluded, I am not the arbiter of justice. The investigation, when it's concluded, the district attorney will make a decision. The police commissioner will make an administrative decision, and then the district attorney will make a legal decision. I'm really not part of that decision-making process other than to provide access to information for people to make those decisions in a just way.
All right, thank you, Chris. And finally today, let's go back to Christian Johansson, KYW.
Just a quick question, clarification on the curfew for restaurants who are just kind of coming back from the pandemic and trying to rebound. Does everybody have to be indoors by 9 o'clock tonight, or can restaurants stay open till 9 o'clock and then restaurant workers leave a little bit after because they may have to close?
Marcel or Tumar, I think the last one was you could stay open till 9 and then do takeout from 9 on. That I don't know if that's changed or not.
So restaurant workers are allowed to.
Yes,
Yeah, I mean,
Kristen. Yes, workers that's traveling back and forth to work are exempt from the curfew, and certainly restaurants could stay open for takeout. For delivery services.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Kristen, and thank you everyone for joining us. That concludes today's briefing.